Imagine this scenario. It's 2 in the morning, the house is dead quiet, but you are wide awake, standing in the harsh light of the kitchen. You're just staring at a row of amber pill bottles lined up on the counter.
It's a scene a lot of caregivers know all too well, that middle of the night panic.
Exactly. You're the primary caregiver for your mother. She's 75. She tested positive for COVID-19 3 days ago. But here's the thing. It isn't the fever that's scaring you right now. It isn't even the cough.
It's the side effects.
It's the fact that she has developed severe, uncontrollable diarrhea. She's weak. She can barely stand up to get to the bathroom. You're trying to get her to drink water, but it seems like it's just running straight through her.
Which is dangerous enough on its own. I mean, dehydration in seniors is a medical emergency waiting to happen.
And here's the kicker. You look at those bottles. Antibiotics, antivirals, anti-nausea meds. You're doing exactly what the doctor ordered. You're following the instructions in the letter. But instead of getting better, she's fading fast.
That moment right there is the crux of what we're talking about today. Because in that specific scenario, the medication, the very thing that's supposed to save her, might actually be the thing putting her life in immediate danger.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We aren't just summarizing an article, we're analyzing a specific set of urgent medical advocacy guides. These are basically a toolkit for becoming what's called a senior medical advocate.
This is such a vital skill set. It's about shifting your mindset from being a passive recipient of care. Just taking the pills because a white coat said so to being an active safety check.
Because the patient profile we're looking at today, 75 female, COVID positive, severe diarrhea, is walking a tightrope.
She is. And the sources we're looking at highlight a core conflict in modern medicine. You have the virus, which is the enemy, but then you have the treatment side effects. And for a senior, the dehydration from the side effects can actually be more lethal and faster acting than the virus itself.
That is a heavy concept. We usually think treat the virus at all costs. So today we're going to unpack this medical minefield. We have 3 main pillars to get through. First, we're going to look at what the guides call the diarrhea storm, caused by a specific drug cocktail.
Then we'll move to the hidden danger of silent pneumonia and why the standard just-in-case antibiotics might actually be a trap.
And finally, we'll navigate the complex world of antivirals and drug interactions that can, well, literally stop a heart. It sounds intense, but by the end of this, you'll know exactly what questions to ask.
Let's dive in.
Okay, let's start with this concept of the diarrhea storm. I think most of us operate on the assumption that if a doctor prescribes 3 or 4 medicines, they've checked how they all interact. They work together like a symphony, right?
Ideally, yes. In a perfect world with unlimited time, that's how it works. But the sources highlight that in urgent care scenarios, especially during surges, it's often less of a symphony and more of a, cacophony. The guides introduce a concept here called deprescribing.
Deprescribing, which sounds like the opposite of what doctors usually do.
It is. It's the systematic process of stopping medications that are either unnecessary or, in this case, actively harmful. When you have a 75-year-old with severe diarrhea, you have to look at the input side. What are we putting into her system that might be fueling the fire?
So let's look at that specific cocktail mentioned in the case. The patient is taking amoxicillin, fluconazole, and Paxlovid.
Right, so let's break those down. First, amoxicillin is a very strong, very common antibiotic. It's a combination of amoxicillin and clavulanate. Now, clavulanate is famous in the pharmacology world for one specific thing. It speeds up the muscles in the digestive tract.
Wait, hold on. It's an antibiotic. Why does it mess with the muscles?
It acts as a gut stimulant as a side effect. It causes diarrhea in up to 34% of patients. That's 1 in 3. Plus, antibiotics generally wipe out the gut flora, the good bacteria that helps digestion.
But if she has an infection, isn't it worth the risk? I mean, diarrhea is bad, but an infection is worse, right?
In many cases, sure. But remember our patient profile. She already has severe diarrhea from COVID. Adding a drug that causes diarrhea in 34% of people is just pouring gasoline on a fire.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's strike 1. Then we have fluconazole.
That's an antifungal. Doctors often prescribe it to prevent thrush when you're on antibiotics. But it just adds to the chemical soup in the stomach, often causing more GI upset.
And then there's Paxlovid, the big gun for COVID.
Exactly. And by now, Paxlovid poop is basically a recognized medical phenomenon. It has a metallic taste, and it's notorious for causing GI distress.
So pause here. You have 3 drugs. All 3 of them push the gut toward diarrhea. That seems like bad luck. But there was a 4th drug in the research that made my jaw drop, Reglan, also known as metoclopramide.
Reglan. This is the smoking gun in this case study.
Yeah, I've had Reglan before. I was given it for nausea. So if our patient is sick and throwing up, giving her an anti-nausea med sounds like good medicine, doesn't it? I'd want my mom to stop feeling nauseous.
On the surface, yes. And that's why it gets prescribed. Patient is nauseous. Prescribe Reglan. It's a reflex. But we have to look at the mechanism of action. Do you know how Reglan actually stops nausea?
I assumed it just settled the stomach, like coating it.
Not quite. Reglan is what's called it's a prokinetic. Kinetic means movement. Its job is to hit the gas pedal on your stomach. It forces the stomach to empty its contents faster into the intestines, so there's nothing left to throw up.
Wait, let me get this straight. You have a patient who already has severe, life-threatening diarrhea. Everything is running through her too fast, she's dehydrated, and we are giving her a drug that literally stomps on the accelerator.
That is the Reglan paradox. It's often prescribed automatically for the symptom of nausea without considering the context of the diarrhea. You are essentially giving a powerful laxative effect to someone who is already losing fluids at a critical rate.
That is, honest to God, that's dangerous. Why would a doctor do that? Are they just not paying attention?
It's not malice, it's tunnel vision. They're treating the symptom nausea without looking at the whole system. But for a 75-year-old, that fluid loss leads to kidney failure very, very quickly.
So this brings us to the first advocacy question. If I'm that caregiver standing in the kitchen at 2 a.m., I can't just stop giving the meds without talking to someone. What do I say to the doctor without sounding like I Googled my medical degree?
You need to be direct but collaborative. Frame it around the symptom. The guide suggests asking, given her excessive diarrhea, can we pause the Reglan immediately?
You're highlighting the contradiction. She is losing fluids too fast, and we need the drug that speeds up digestion.
Exactly. And for the others, the antibiotic and the antifungal, you ask, is it strictly necessary to continue the antibiotic and antifungal without a confirmed bacterial infection? You have to ask the doctor to justify the chemical soup.
Which is a perfect segue to pillar 2, the hidden danger. We're talking about pneumonia.
Right. Now this is tricky, and this is where caregivers often get nervous. The patient has COVID. COVID causes pneumonia.
So naturally, the logic is pneumonia. She needs antibiotics. My mom has pneumonia. Give her the stuff that kills pneumonia. Why is that a trap?
It's a trap because of biology. COVID-19 causes viral pneumonia. It's a virus. Amoxiclav, the drug she's taking, treats bacterial pneumonia. Antibiotics are like a key that only fits a specific lock. They do absolutely nothing against a virus. Zero efficacy against the virus itself. It's like taking an aspirin for a broken leg. It might do something else, but it won't fix the bone.
But doctors aren't stupid. They know COVID is a virus. Why do they prescribe the antibiotics then? Is it just defensive medicine?
That is exactly it. They're worried about a secondary infection. The logic is the virus weakens the lungs and then bacteria move in and set up shop. It's a valid fear. But in an advocacy role, especially when the side effects, the diarrhea, are this severe, just in case isn't good enough.
Because the antibiotic is destroying the gut flora, which she needs right now.
Exactly. And when you wipe out that good bacteria, you open the door for things like C. diff, a nasty bacterial infection that causes severe colitis. So by treating a phantom bacterial pneumonia, you might be causing a very real, very dangerous gut infection.
So we shouldn't be guessing. How do we prove it? What are the strictly necessary diagnostics the guide talks about?
There are two main tools you should ask for them. First, the chest x-ray. It turns out viral pneumonia looks physically different than bacterial pneumonia inside the lungs.
How so? I thought pneumonia was just fluid in the lungs.
It is, but the pattern matters. Viral pneumonia usually looks like ground glass, kind of hazy, diffuse patches on both sides of the lungs. It looks like a fog.
Yeah.
Bacterial pneumonia often looks like consolidation, a solid, dense white blob, usually in just one area. It looks like a cloud.
So you can literally see the difference. It's not a guess.
Often, yes. And secondly, blood work. Tests like procalcitonin. If procalcitonin is low, it's almost certainly viral. If it's high, it's bacterial.
Okay, so we have tools. Now, the guide also mentioned something called silent pneumonia or silent hypoxia. This scared me a bit. What is that?
This is a hallmark of COVID in the elderly. Usually if your oxygen drops, your brain screams panic, you gasp for air because your body senses carbon dioxide building up. But with COVID, sometimes the oxygen levels drop dangerously low below 92, even into the 80s. But the carbon dioxide levels don't rise as fast.
So the alarm bell doesn't ring.
Yeah, exactly. The patient doesn't feel short of breath. They might just seem a little confused or tired. This is happy hypoxia.
That's terrifying. They're suffocating, but they don't know it.
Correct. And that is why the pulse oximeter, that little clip you put on the finger, is non-negotiable. You cannot trust your eyes. You need the number.
So the advocacy move here isn't just stop the drugs, it's prove she needs them.
Precisely. The question to the doctor is, can we confirm she has bacterial pneumonia via X-ray before continuing antibiotics that are causing severe dehydration? You're asking for data to back up the treatment plan.
I love that distinction. You aren't arguing opinion, you're asking for data.
And you're prioritizing the immediate threat. If the dehydration kills her kidneys in 24 hours, it doesn't matter if we treated a potential bacterial infection that might happen next week. Triage means dealing with the wolf at the door.
Right, triage. Okay, let's move to pillar 3. We've talked about stopping the bad stuff, but she still has COVID. We need to eliminate the virus.
We do. And for a 75-year-old, we usually want an antiviral to prevent severe disease.
And the big name, the one everyone knows, is Paxlovid.
Paxlovid is very effective. It saves lives. But, and it's a big but, it comes with that massive asterisk. It is a CYP3A inhibitor.
Whoa, okay, CYP3A. That sounds like a droid from Star Wars. Break that down for us in plain English. Why should a caregiver care about an acronym?
Think of your liver as a busy highway where drugs get broken down and cleared out of your body. CYP3A is one of the main toll booths on that highway. A huge number of medications have to pass through that toll booth to get metabolized and leave the system.
Okay, so they pay the toll and leave.
Exactly. But Paxlovid basically nails that toll booth shut. It closes the lane.
So the traffic stops.
The traffic stops. And if the patient is taking other drugs that need to go through that toll booth, they can't leave. They start piling up in the blood. They can reach toxic levels very fast.
And what kind of drugs use this toll booth? Are we talking rare stuff?
No, we are talking about the very drugs a 75-year-old is likely taking. Statins for cholesterol, blood thinners, heart medications, benzodiazepines for anxiety or sleep.
So if you take a blood thinner and you take Paxlovid, suddenly you have way too much blood thinner in your system.
Precisely. You risk uncontrolled bleeding. If you're on a statin, you risk rhabdomyolysis, severe muscle breakdown that destroys the kidneys. It's not just a side effect, it's an overdose caused by the interaction.
So the prescribe and forget approach here is lethal. If a doctor just calls in Paxlovid without looking at her other meds,
That is a massive red flag.
or can't we just stop the other meds for a few days? Like skip the cholesterol pill?
Sometimes, yes. That is a valid strategy. But you need a plan for it. You can't just guess. And for some heart meds or blood thinners, stopping them abruptly is also dangerous.
So what are the alternatives? If Paxlovid is causing a traffic jam, or if it's contributing to the Paxlovid poop we mentioned earlier, do we just give up and hope the immune system fights it off?
No. This is where knowing your options matters. There's remdesivir.
Remdesivir, that's the IV one, right?
Yes. It's an infusion, usually for 3 consecutive days. The benefit, it bypasses the gut entirely, no diarrhea. And it interacts with far fewer medications because it doesn't shut down that liver toll booth.
So for our patient-nauseous, severe diarrhea on heart meds, remdesivir sounds like the winner.
It often is the gut-sparing choice. There's also molnupiravir, which is a pill. It's statistically a bit less effective than Paxlovid, but it is much safer interaction-wise.
So the question for the doctor is, have we reviewed her maintenance medications for interactions? And is she eligible for 5-year remdesivir to spare her gut?
Exactly. You are offering a solution that solves the viral problem without worsening the dehydration problem.
It's strategic. I feel like we're building a battle plan here.
That's exactly what it is. You are the general in the home.
Okay, General. Let's shift gears. We've had the conversation with the doctor. We've deprescribed the Reglan. We're waiting for the new plan. But we are back at home. The patient is still losing fluids. We need to talk about practical home care.
This is the boots on the ground phase. You have to keep the tank full.
And the guide is very specific that water isn't enough. Why? I thought water was the best thing for hydration.
Water is great for a healthy person. But when you have severe diarrhea, you aren't just losing water. You are losing electrolytes. Sodium, potassium, chloride. If you just pour plain water into a system that is low on salts, you can actually dilute the remaining salts in the body.
It washes them out?
It does. It can lead to a condition called hyponatremia. It can cause confusion, seizures, even coma. You need the salt to hold the water in.
So we need an electrolyte replacement. The guide mentions Pedialyte, which makes sense, but it also listed a homemade recipe. I wrote this down, the AS-PIN recipe.
Yes. This is a lifesaver if you can't get to the store or you're snowed in. It's roughly 3.5 cups of water, 1 cup of orange juice, and 1/2 to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
OJ and salt. That sounds interesting. Why that combination?
It's chemistry. The orange juice provides potassium and a little sugar for energy. The salt replaces the sodium, and the water provides volume. It's a homemade four, essentially.
And how do we administer it? Because if I drink a big glass of juice when I'm sick, it's coming right back up.
That's the mistake people make. They chug to catch up on the losses. But a sick stomach has low capacity. You need to aim for small volume, high frequency, 2 to 4 ounces every 15 minutes.
Sip, don't chug.
Exactly. It absorbs better and doesn't trigger that gag reflex or the gash-colic reflex, which causes an immediate bowel movement.
Now, monitoring. How do I know if I'm winning or losing this battle? The guide mentions looking at urine color.
It's the best low-tech indicator we have. You want pale yellow or clear. If it's dark, like apple juice or amber, she is behind the curve. That's the danger zone.
What about food? I grew up with the BRAP diet. Bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. Whenever I got sick, my mom gave me dry toast. Is that still the gold standard?
It's actually falling out of favor. It's okay for a day, maybe. But think about it. Toast and applesauce are basically just sugar and carbs. Very low protein. A 75-year-old fighting COVID needs fuel to repair cells and build antibodies.
So we need to feed the beast.
Right. The guide suggests an expanded bland diet. You want gentle proteins, scrambled eggs, soft tofu, baked chicken breast.
So adding protein, but keeping it soft.
Exactly. You need to repair the muscle and support the immune system. Just avoid the triggers. Caffeine, spicy food, and surprisingly raw veggies.
Raw veggies? I thought salads were healthy.
They are healthy, but they are hard work for the gut. They have too much insoluble fiber. When the gut is inflamed, it's like a raw wound. You don't want to scrub it with a wire brush. You want soft, cooked, boring food.
Boring is good. Got it. Okay, we have to talk about the scary part. The red flags. When do we stop being a medical advocate, stop the sips of OJ, and just call 911?
This is your emergency checklist. There are a few absolute lines in the sand where home care fails.
Let's run through them quickly so people can memorize this list.
First, oxygen. If that pulse oximeter reads below 92% or whatever baseline your doctor said, you call. Don't wait to see if it comes back up.
Even if they say they feel fine.
Especially if they say they feel fine. Remember silent hypoxia. Don't debate the device. Trust the number.
Next.
Confusion. Sudden disorientation. If she doesn't know where she is or she can't stay awake to answer a question.
What does that tell us physically?
That implies the brain isn't getting oxygen, where the dehydration has thrown off her electrolytes so badly her brain is misfiring.
Physical signs.
Blue lips or fingertips. Cyanosis. That means the blood isn't carrying oxygen. That's critical. And strictly regarding dehydration, if there's no urine for 8 to 12 hours.
No urine means the kidneys have stopped filtering.
It means the body is hoarding every drop of water to keep the heart pumping. The kidneys are effectively shutting down. You need IV fluids immediately. You cannot fix that with sips of orange juice.
And fainting.
If she cannot stand up or faints when she tries, her blood pressure is too low, that is an immediate 911 call.
So let's pull this all together. We've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about the diarrhea storm caused by the wrong drugs, the pneumonia trap of unnecessary antibiotics, the Paxlovid interaction, and the home care protocols. What does this all mean for someone listening?
It means that in modern medicine, especially for seniors, more isn't always better.
It feels like we are taught that if we leave the doctor's office without a prescription, we didn't get it.
Exactly. We view the prescription as the solution. The medical system is overwhelmed. Doctors are moving fast. They might see pneumonia and click antibiotic out of habit. They might see nausea and click Reglan.
And our responsibility is to pause that click.
Your job is to ask the 3 golden questions. 1. Can we deprescribe the Reglan and the antibiotic if there's no confirmed bacterial infection? 2. Can we prove it's bacteria via X-ray before we risk the dehydration? 3. Are the antivirals compatible with her heart meds?
Those 3 questions shift the power dynamic completely. It takes you from helplessness to being an active part of the safety team.
And honestly, it saves lives. We often think of medical advocacy as fighting for treatment. Give her the drug. But for the elderly, true advocacy is often fighting against unnecessary treatment.
That's a powerful thought. It's the discipline of subtraction.
Removing the friction so the body can actually heal.
I think that's something that sticks with you. In a culture that says take a pill for everything, sometimes the bravest thing you can say is stop.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that wraps up this deep dive into senior medical advocacy. It's heavy stuff, but hopefully you feel a little more armed with knowledge than you did 20 minutes ago.
Absolutely. Knowledge is safety.
Thanks for listening. Stay curious, stay safe, And don't be afraid to ask those hard questions. We'll see you on the next deep dive.